good morning, everyone. We have the pleasure today and honor to talk to Ben Rowe. He's the president and CEO of Heifetz International Music Institute. Welcome, Ben, to You've Got Mail office, and we are honored to have you here. And I know this is your busiest month, so thank you for being here. We have to bring you to here from far away, but we are honored to have you to tell us a little bit about this wonderful nonprofit organization. And tell us a little bit first about you, a little bit bio about you, and what led you to be part of this.
Well, thank you, Natasha, and it's nice to see all of your viewers here for your program and to be here in your beautiful office. So I have been with the Heifetz Institute for 10 years now. It's based in Stanton, Virginia. Don't call it Staunton, it's Stanton, Virginia. We are about a couple of hours away in the Shenandoah Valley, really beautiful part of the world, as you know. And Stanton is sort of in between the Allegheny Mountains to the west and the Blue Ridge Mountains. We have a lot of hikers, we have a lot of outdoor activities, and of course Stanton has got so much culture for it. They call it big time culture and small town cool, and it's been a great place for us to be. The Heifetz Institute is a music festival and summer program for extraordinarily gifted string players. So that means violin, viola, cello, sometimes some bassists. But they get together and they come to the Heifetz Institute to really have advanced training on their instruments. So we have this year, we have students who come from China, from Mongolia, from Hong Kong, from Israel, from England, from France, as well as about 23 states here in America. So there's a really diverse community of about 170 people of students, and then we have about 60 faculty members and 40 staff members that I boss around for us to create this wonderful program that really is very intense, as you say, Natasha, that in the course of the summer program, which is 6 weeks long, we will do about 65 concerts. And those concerts are both in our public arenas, like on the campus of Mary Baldwin University, where we've been since 2012, but we also play outreach concerts, we play in churches, we play in public libraries, we play at the Rotary Club, and really get our musicians out and about, because so much of what the Heifetz Institute is about as a summer festival is about training these students to be effective communicators. So it's not just about how well they play their fiddles, and they play them really, really well, but we also give them, for example, we give them speech classes, and we give them movement classes, and we give them yoga exercises, and what we call improvisation and theater. So we really want to help them develop their all-around artistic personalities, not just to be people who play the fiddle well. So for example, when a student comes to perform at one of our many concerts, they come on stage and they don't use a music stand. They don't sit in a chair. They have to play from memory. They have to play standing up. They have to give a speech before each time they play. And I'm here to tell you that for many of these students, they're so talented that giving a speech is far more stressful for them than actually playing, the Tchaikovsky violin concerto or something. So anyway, what's interesting for me is that I came to the Institute to answer your question eventually, is that I worked in broadcasting. So I was here in the DC area for 20 years, working for National Public Radio, where I was in charge of cultural programming and a lot of music programming for many years. And then I worked in WGBH in Boston. And I spent about 30 years working in public broadcasting, so public radio and television like NPR, WGBH, and I worked in North Carolina for a while. So I'm relatively new as an educator. I mean, my background has been in broadcasting and in kind of molding and shaping and doing things like what you're doing here with a podcast, sort of creating those. Yeah. In fact, the Heifetz Institute has a radio show now too that I host. So we do a weekly radio show called Heifetz on Air. We have a very active YouTube channel. We have something like 60,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel and about 16 million viewers around the world. We use this to recruit. So if we want to be the place where if you are a kid in Australia or in Singapore or in Taiwan, and you go through YouTube and you see all these Heifetz performers And I say people about their own age say, I want to do that. I want to be there. So that's how we recruit, how we get a lot of these international students who come here.
Ben, what is the ages for the student you recruit? Do you have any specific age?
Yeah, we
that
do.
need to be?
Yeah, so we have both a junior and a senior division.
Okay.
So the junior division, well, the senior division are for students about 15 or 16 up to so like high school students, college students, and postgrad. So you might have students as old as 26 or 27. On the other hand, the junior division this year, we have some students who are as old as 15 and as young as 8 and 9 years old. And no, it's so heartwarming. And oftentimes these 8-year-olds and 9-year-olds, it's like I say, now I grew up as a sports fan, as an All-American kid. So what I like to tell people is that every student who comes to Heifetz is a starting shortstop on their little league team, right? And they come here and they realize that, oh, someone's got to go play right field, you know, and someone's got to be the designated hitter. So, so these kids are all really, really talented, but many of them are coming and not having a chance ever in their lives to work and collaborate and play music together with other kids of the same or greater talent. So it's really very inspiring for them.
Yeah.
I put it one way: they meet their
around
fellow
that.
freaks, right?
Yeah.
It's sort of like Pee-wee football, or maybe a young ballerina or something like that. These are people who play at an extraordinarily high level.
Tell us a little bit about the different programs you
Sure.
have.
Yeah. So I mentioned we have a junior and a senior division.
Yeah.
The senior division goes for 6 weeks. The junior division goes for 3 weeks twice. So we have a first session, and we're ending our first session this week, actually. So we'll have 3 concerts by the junior division students this week. And then next week we'll start the second session. And for kids that are that young, 11, 12, 6 weeks is too much. It's too intense. And a lot of them are away from home for the first time.
Yeah.
So they get homesick and all those other things happen.
Yeah.
Except we're so excited for them, they just kind of are very stimulated by it all too. So that's what the summers are kind of our main activity. So we have about, to talk about some numbers for a minute, we have about a $2 million budget.
Yeah.
And of that $2 million, we spend about 1.2 or 4 of that in the summertime. So that is our main activity. But we also have a music shop in Stanton, so if you need guitar strings or you want to rent a trumpet for your kid who's in 5th grade, we'll come to our shop and get that and buy some musical knickknacks and socks and ties and other things like that. We do a touring program, so we come to the Washington area during the December, and we do a lot of concerts. We've played in Loudoun County, we play at some vineyards, we play house concerts, we play at senior centers, we play at the Krieger Museum in Washington. So we do a lot of that kind of touring over the course of the year. And we also present concerts in Stanton during the course of the year too, about once a month or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I never really have a rest period. You know, it's like when they ask college teachers, like, well, you just take the summer off, right? Like, no, I got to prepare my curriculum, I got to study for things, I've got to get advanced training.
More of full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So tell us about something you have accomplished since you start with them.
Yeah.
Can you give us and you are really, really proud of? I know that being around international students, I mean, this is also this is something so nice.
Well, I have to say that one of the things that permanently kind of changed and enhanced, I think, the reputation of the Institute was that in 2020, when everything shut down, and we had just gone through our acceptance process for our summer program. So middle of March, we had all these students who were signed up to come. And we had on our board a medical doctor who was kind of badgering us from January on, said, this is really serious, this COVID thing, you have to pay attention to it. And no, people are not going to be back in their church pews on Easter, this is really serious. And so we decided at the end of March, we said, we're going to go online. We're going to go completely online. And of course, we'd never done it before, we had to figure it out. But because I had a background in broadcasting, I had an idea of what we might do. So we announced to our students and to the world at the end of March that we were going to go completely online. and we were the first ones to do that.
Wow.
And it was kind of a shockwave because we went to the students, we had just accepted, we said, look, we're going to go online, so if you still want to be part of this, great. And we cut the tuition in half.
Yeah.
But if you want to opt out, that's fine too, and we won't, we'll refund your money and everything else. And about 1/3 of them dropped out, and we had to do another admission cycle to bring them in. But we actually managed to create a very robust and I think very artistically satisfying online program, and we actually got a lot of honors for it. And we managed to do the next year a hybrid program, which was 3 weeks on, 3 weeks in quarantine, 3 weeks online, and we managed to go through the whole summer without a single COVID case, which was amazing.
Wow.
So I think that people then really kind of thought, we were essentially doing concerts in 2020 and 2021 when a lot of people weren't doing them at all. So I think that really helped to enhance our reputation. I got some nice awards from the industry.
Yeah, and probably you had a lot of audience because by that time everybody was at home.
We did.
So they want to activate their time on things. And
exactly.
Wow.
And also for the students, the same thing. And the professors. A lot of the professors really didn't like to do all this online Zoom and looking with the camera and the ring light and everything else.
Yeah.
But it actually helped a great deal, so that they learned to kind of look to us as kind of an industry leader. So in our admissions every year keep going up. So I'm proud of that, of what we did, and the work that we do, and how we kind of invest our time and our effort in our students.
Ben, tell me a little bit. I know you did mention, a little bit about that, about events. I know this is your busiest time right now. So what are you doing right now? I know until end of July.
Yeah. What are you doing? Well, so most of our concerts take place in. Well, I'll just give you an example of this week.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're live, right? So we're live right today. We will have a concert at 4:00 featuring our junior division students. Then tomorrow, Wednesday, we do another concert, which is kind of our staple series called Stars of Tomorrow. And that's in Francis Auditorium, which is the auditorium at Mary Baldwin in Stanton. Don't call it Staunton. In Stanton, Virginia. And then on Thursday, we play 2 concerts because we do a 4th of July concert in Charlottesville.
Oh, okay.
And we do it at the presidential home of James Monroe, which is right down the road from Monticello. And that's always a very popular concert. It's free. Our junior division concerts are all free. We do a lot of free concerts because we think that's an important thing in the community. Our student concerts are $15, so things aren't very expensive. We do a chamber music concert where the faculty and the students collaborate together on Thursday nights. On Friday afternoon, we'll do a concert at the Art Gallery in downtown Stanton. It's like a 1-hour concert. It's also free. So students playing string quartets that they're learning. They play at such a high level. It's amazing. And we play inside art exhibitions, which is really very inspiring. In the evenings, on Friday, we do what we call the Celebrity Series. That's the one night a week where it's just our faculty performing. But we do something called Heifetz Happy Hour. So an hour before the concert, we have this giant tent that we put up, like 40 by 100, and people come, and we have a nice little reception. We feature a lot of Virginia wines and a lot of white wine this time of year, and little hors d'oeuvres and things. And it's a nice kind of social gathering for people. And we do that on Fridays. On Saturday, we continue with more junior division concerts, which take place at another place we call the South Market Stage. Those concerts are all free. And in the evenings, under that same big tent I was talking about, we have something that is unique to the Heifetz Institute. We call them Heifetz Hootenannies. And you might say, what's a hootenanny? And the idea here is something that I started my first summer 10 years ago, which is that we have a chance for students to play things besides classical music. So they might play bluegrass, they might play, like our first concert last week, they were playing Clean, and they were playing ABBA arrangements, and they were playing some bluegrass, and sometimes it's some early jazz, and sometimes it's folk music. But the idea is these students who are so good, they play other things besides Beethoven.
Talented.
Yeah, and so we ever since outside, we have some local craft beer, we have some wine, we have popcorn, we have snow cones, and it's just a great night under the tent. People really enjoy that. And then we do a Sunday matinee, which is the final of the 8 concerts a week. And these concerts are all live streamed, I should mention too, or almost all of them. And one thing that I'm really proud of is that our live streams are very, very high quality. We have 3 cameras on, we have a live, somebody who's actually producing the video, doing switching, and so you really feel like you're there in the concert hall when you're watching it.
So Ben, what about the practice? I mean, I know that when you are guys live, do you have time during the day? Do you do the practice for the music?
Well, are the kids practicing and rehearsing? Oh, they sure are. They're all the time. And in fact, we do something else which is, I think, unique to the Institute. Yeah, I'm bragging about it, but I'm very proud of it. We do something where we do a full rehearsal the day before every concert. So we do, I just mentioned to you, like 10 concerts. There is a full rehearsal before every one of those concerts. And the kids play, and you know what they do? They come on stage, they play their piece, and then they immediately take like a flash drive or a card, and they go up to either with the artistic director or the coach, and they review that tape right away. So every student has a chance to see themselves on stage playing their piece, and then discuss it with the artistic director. So the level of personal attention that each student gets is pretty amazing. So that's a rehearsal. They have lots of practice time, and that really, and you think about the number of students we have, at any given time we have 122 students on campus, and they are all getting that treatment.
Wow, that's nice. That's a great job. How do you, I know that you work kind of internationally, how do you market yourself internationally?
Well, so we do, that's why I was talking before about our YouTube channel. I mean, I can look at the demographics on our YouTube channel, and right now, and this is not counting China, because China isn't in the Google verse, right? 35 to 40% of our audience is from Asia. So Korea, Japan, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Australia, Vietnam, they're tuning in to look at our videos. And we have a growing number of people. We have more viewers on our YouTube channel in Brazil than we do in the UK. You know, so I mean, we get to see how where the popularity is of the Institute, and where people from South America are watching and soar. People, we have people who tune in from Turkey, you know, and from Israel. So it really is truly international. But that's where music is so helpful, right?
Wow, that's great. The audience who are listening right now, other than we're gonna tell them, come see the concert, because this is something great, and to see also the diverse of the student from all the world, other than also USA student. I mean, this is unbelievable. Great thing.
Last night we had a student performing. One of the students was from Canada. One of the students was from Massachusetts. One of the students was from Mongolia. You know, one of the students was from Taiwan. You know, so that you're always going to have this really interesting mix.
And being friends and connect with other culture in all the world. I mean, this is amazing too. How can we help? What is the most need? If we're gonna say business aside, and probably also like viewer, I know that come see us, or if you have kids are interested, can you share a little bit?
Well, sure. So the first thing I would say is I've gone this far, shame on me, without mentioning the website. Heifetz Institute, H-E-I-F-E-T-Z Institute.org. Now, .org means that you're a nonprofit. And as a nonprofit, my motto has always been, nonprofit does not mean pro-loss. So that means that we always have to make sure that we can keep the lights on. So what I love about I love, if you were to put it in business terms, I love our product. I love what we do and the uniqueness of what we do. And you can't help but get inspired by seeing these kids and how hard they work to create 4 minutes worth of music. I mean, that's hundreds of hours of rehearsal to do just that. So that how can anybody help, of course, is always, making a donation or something like that. But maybe even more importantly is coming to a concert, seeing the kids for yourself, being inspired by what they do. That we wake up every morning to such, for a lot of people, very, it's a tough time right now in the world. There's a lot of bad news, right? And so when our students, we had a professor say the other night, they're soldiers of music. They're here to think about and to share other parts of the human experience, which are not just about doom and gloom. So it is really, truly, for a lot of people, it's inspiring, and for our students, it oftentimes is truly a transformative summer that they'll remember the rest of their lives. We had a student play last night who has been to the Institute since she was 12 years old. She's come by every summer. And to see this young lady blossom into this poised, young, brilliant artist, that's what does it for me.
Yeah.
That's why I do what I do.
They grow up and they got better on music.
I have a lot of children in a way. I mean, now in my 10 summers, I've probably had and gotten to know about 2,000 students. So, and the other thing I should mention is that I mentioned that we do come to Northern Virginia and to Washington and Maryland area quite a bit, and we're planning now to do some concerts in Loudon next fall. So
that's nice. So we will follow. We're gonna share the website. So we will follow you on the website to see where are you.
Yeah.
The last question for me, and where do you see the organization in the next 2 years?
Oh, that's a really good question. I think that if I look at just the applications, they continue to go like that. We're always striving to market ourselves better, but we're not. I think it's like you run a very successful business. You know this temptation: grow. And at a certain point, it's like, well, is that really what I want to do, right? Do I want to be excellent at what I do, or do I want to keep expanding and maybe be a little less excellent because of all the work that's involved, the additional personnel? So I'm happy now with the size that we're at. I don't want to double the size of the Institute. I don't want to say, well, we teach violin, viola, and cello. Why don't we add saxophone and ukulele? That's not really how we work. So for me, it is continuing, and this is a challenge, but it's continuing to attract the very finest students in the world, to be able to support their studies, which is raising more money for their scholarships, and to enhance our reputation and to build a more solid, secure financial base. I mean, as the CEO, I have to do that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Ben, I want to thank you very much today. This is great, and I will be, at some point I gotta go see the concert, see by my eye, but I can imagine you have over 100 students sitting there and playing different instruments. That's a lot of hard work. Thank you for building this organization to where you are right now, and I wish you the success for many, many years. And thank you for your time being here and share with us the story of this wonderful organization.
Well, thank you so much, Natasha. It's a pleasure to be here, and thank you for viewing.